What it do, y'all. So I'm here today. I'm finna give y'all a little bit more of this story that everybody keep asking me for. This is for my TikTok family, all my peeps that's like, we need a story time. So yesterday I was too busy. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of shit going on and I tried to stop in between getting my bread and stop what I was doing to give y'all a little bit of a story time, but I ain't have too much time to be doing all that, wasting my damn time and shit when I ain't getting no money. But anywho, a lot of y'all that know me, I am Destin, aka DS10. For those who don't know, I'm saying. No, but for real, y'all know I play too much. I be playing a whole lot of shit. So, okay, I'm gonna jump into it. I tried to go into slight detail yesterday. It didn't really work out because trying to cram this story all into one just did not work. This is a story that I literally been holding in forever. This story literally narrated my life from the age of 14.
Bitch, I got a check. Checking in the bag. Bitch, I got a check. Yeah. All you niggas mad. Yeah. Mad.
Until now. Literally, God only knows what would have happened if this story would have never happened, because I don't know where I would be. Where I would be if it wasn't for this story, or how shit turned out is literally real weird. What's up with this lighting looking like? Okay, so I think I left y'all with where we started at. Basically, like I said, I knew of her from around the city. I'm not from a big ass city, you feel me? So it's like everybody know everybody cool with everybody cousins with everybody. If you're not the real cousins, you're intertwined from a family of marriage and some other shit, and cousins. So as I jump into this story, y'all gonna be looking like, what the hell was going on? Where they from? Because it's still going on today, mind you. Oh yeah, my bad, I slammed my finger in the door. So anywho, I know a lot of y'all be wanting to see my rings and stuff like that, but my hand looking a little crazy because I'm missing the whole thing. But I left off yesterday with the ending of my mom. And that shit is kind of like a touchy subject as well, because of just everything that I went through and, the dealings with the situation with my mom and how it caused us to really be on a bad note for so many years. Like I said, I never touched on this story before because it's real. It's a touchy situation just from everything that I went through. And this ain't just I was dating Amanda Perez and that was my girlfriend. Nah, this shit really transformed my life into something that was just hectic forever. Seriously forever. Growing up, I was always bullied in school. I know y'all not gonna believe it, her, but yes, me. Literally from elementary, going to Weiser Park all the way to Memorial Park, just throughout the streets, growing up. So this was even before me and her had dealings and the whole city was in an uproar. So I was already going through hella shit just as a child growing up, having to fight my way through school, always being talked about, always being bullied. That's DS, and look at her butt. She got a big butt, or she dirty, or her hair nappy. And it was, I was fighting. You know what I'm saying? Literally fighting my way through school since elementary. I can remember the last fight of my 5th grade year. I didn't get to go to some little thing called Camp Potawatomi or some shit that, everybody went to when they graduated 5th grade. I didn't get to go because I got into a fight with this boy. Rest in peace, as a matter of fact. I know he's not here no more, but I got into a fight with him on the last day of school and they would not let me go. So I was like, damn, his name was Mario Edwards. I'm never gonna forget. We were in, I think it was Mrs. Weiser. As a matter of fact, her name might have been Mrs. Weiser. We was in a class watching a movie and me and him got into a fight. And they would not let either one of us go to the camp. So, long story short, went on through middle school, fighting. When I tell you I was fighting. I probably got into more than 100 fights in elementary and middle school. It was so bad in middle school, I was going to Memorial Park and they would call us the 3Ds. That's what they named us, because it was me, this girl named Danasha, and Danita. When I tell you, baby, we was always fucking fighting. Like, there was not a day, or I could say not a week, that went by that we didn't get into a fight. Literally, I was kicked out of school. Like, Mr. Martin, everybody, they kicked me out of school so much that they just was like, don't come back. So I left. I went to Geyer. That did not work out either. I got into several fights there. And I think I slammed the principal's hand, and it was a mean man. He was like, I can't even remember his name right now. He was mean as fuck. He was being mean to me. And I'm just like, yo, I didn't do anything. Like, they really messing with me. You know what I'm saying? And ended up getting expelled from there, went to an alternative school. And from there, it was just like, I was in like the 8th grade, never gave a fuck, didn't really want to go to school no more. I got tired of having to fight everybody, tired of being bullied. And the interest of school just wasn't even there, so I really didn't care. I'm gonna pick up from where I left off yesterday with the whole scene of my mom catching or coming into my room. My sister was like the worst of the worst of the worst of all big sisters you would ever want to have. Fucking snitch. Yeah, I get mad when I gotta talk about her, man. Whew, that's another story I ain't touched on yet. So we're gonna come back to that later, because this story is already long. So I'm gonna pick it up here. She had told on me, and I used to sneak out my bedroom window. Like, we stayed on this house, like on the corner next to like a burger dairy, and then it was like this park, McMillan Park, right across the street from our house. And it was lit. Like, when I say it was lit, it was always lit. Like, yo, I can just come outside. All the boys over there at the park, they playing. Everybody walking past our house to go to the corner store. You know, it was just jumping. You know what I'm saying? I was young. All the little young dudes riding around with their music bumping, and plus I was the shit. You know, they wasn't picking with me for nothing. You know, they was making up things, but your girl been, you know what I'm saying, yeah, I was that deal even back then. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I was dancing. I used to dance in all the talent shows and shit like that. Because, you know, I got an older brother that did music. And he always was in the talent shows. And I always wanted to do music, but I was scared as hell. So I just never did it until I got older. So I just danced. You know what I'm saying? It was the love of music for me. So I always danced in all the talent shows. So people started to know who I was. They was like, oh, that's Damar's little sister. Wooty, wooty, whoop. And, you know, I was like really popping. Like, for real. So one night I snuck out of the window because I don't think I went to Amanda's house. I went somewhere else. I don't even know. I used to do whatever the fuck I wanted. My mom was never home. My mom had a shop. She did hair, and it was like she was always gone any damn way. We was at home by ourselves every fucking day doing whatever we want. So I snuck out of the window one night. It was a way that I could close my door from the inside, and I take this butter knife and I stuck it in the inside of my door, so you couldn't open my door from the outside. I would have to take it out for you to get in. So my sister told on me because, like, this little heifer, like, I had bread, mind you. I was young. You know what I'm saying? I was doing hair. So I had been braiding hair since I was in, like, the 5th grade. So I was doing to everybody, all the little young girls in the city, some of their moms. I was doing their crochets, this and other. So I was making, like, $500 a week. And I was like 13, 14 years old. You know what I'm saying? So I always had money. I was always buying shoes, clothes, everything. Had all the Jesus sandals, had all the Reebok classics, every color, all that shit. So my sister would always come in my room and try to steal my clothes. Like, she was a tomboy, and I wasn't really a tomboy back then. So it was like, she would want to wear my clothes to school every morning, and she couldn't get in my room this particular morning so she can get some clothes to go to school, because I would be asleep because I would stay up all night. So she couldn't get her ass in my room, so she went and told my mom that I was gone because I hadn't came back. I fell asleep where I went and did not come back. I'm not going to tell y'all that story yet neither, because that's another long story in itself. So I'm going to come back to that shit too. But so my sister went and told my mom. My mom came and she broke the door to get in, like the door frame, because literally. And she came in my room. She noticed I wasn't there. So she started calling around to see where I was. Mind you, I left this part out. I had a boyfriend at the time. This was like before, like, me and Amanda had really, you know, connected. We was just, you know, talking. I was going by there. And we was just friends. But I already knew she liked me because my cousin, like I said, which is her cousin, had already told me. And I'm like, okay. So I wrote this shit down in my book. Mind you, I kept a journal. I still keep journals to this day. I write all the time. Like, you know, my inner thoughts and shit that you just don't want to share with everybody. I'm that type of person where I had to get to myself a lot because people just, I don't trust a lot of people. Anyway, I wrote everything down in this damn journal. So I wrote even about my boyfriend and shit we was doing, or whatever. And man, when I tell you, like, that's a touchy subject too, because it's weird what I did. I started talking to her, but was still with him. Just the whole story. I guess let me smooth that out first real quick before I sound crazy, but I'm gonna go into that part. So I was writing about, you know, me and him and, you know, all the shit we was doing, and then at the end of the book, it never even finished because it was like I met this girl and she liked me. You know what I'm saying? And it was like I never even wrote anything down about me and her besides I met Amanda. I went over there and she liked me. Oh my God, I don't know what to do. It was like, yeah, she liked me. I don't know what to do. Oh, yeah. That's my ringtone, by the way. I'm going to get to the rest of that part too, because I was trying to be petty yesterday. But anywho, so it was like, I met this girl and she liked me. And of course I wrote her name down or whatever, but I never like put anything because nothing had happened yet. So my mom, what she did was went through my room and she got my journals. You know what I'm saying? She took my books, and my mom had a beauty salon. My mom did hair. So that's why I said she was never at home. My mom was at the shop 24/7, like every single day. She was never at home. We was at home by her fucking self all the time. Just doing whatever. She would like call us from the shop to tell us what to do. Like clean up or don't go outside or do this. And I better not catch y'all outside if y'all ain't clean up type shit. We never cleaned up. We ain't listen. We was always outside. When we knew she was on our way home, we would run in the house and clean up or something. Or our friends would come help us clean up because we've been gone with them or playing all day. So my mom gets my books and she takes them to her shop. So this shit right here kind of touchy too, because like I never really spoke on it for real. A few people know about it, but a lot of people don't. But this situation is something that to this day has been on my mind. Like, why did you do, like, what in your right state of mind would do that? Like, she took my books to her shop and it was like everybody in the world was reading them, like everybody at her salon. So just imagine the beauty salon and people coming to the shop and you talking about me and what's going on with my personal life. And before I had even done anything, next thing I know, probably within a week, like I told you, my city is small. All fucking hell broke loose. I was the biggest dyke of the century. Like, mind you, I was only 14. So it was like, oh, you a dyke. So just imagine coming from being bullied for so many fucking years and having to fight all the damn time. Like, you switched schools, still did this, still. And it kind of simmered down for a little bit. It has simmered down. Next thing I know, this is my freshman year and it's time for me to go to high school. And it was like, oh, you a dyke. Oh, you a hoe. And just all this shit from around the city. All these girls. Everybody knowing. Like, I didn't even know yet. Like, we hadn't even done anything yet. And it was just like, yo, I ain't even did nothing. So it was just like, it was very hurtful, but it was fucked up at the time. Like, it put me in a position where it was like, damn, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't even did nothing. And I, you know, like, I was this dyke. And it was like the worst word ever. And it was just so weird. I don't know. It was just real weird. So, who the hell want to keep calling me? Hold on, y'all. Okay, y'all. My bad. Told y'all I got shit to do now. Okay, so, damn. I done damn near forgot where I was. My mind, y'all. I be doing a lot. Hold on. Alright, okay. I had to see where I was at. So, just imagine being in a closet and not telling everybody, somebody finding out and everybody tell on you. But the thing was, I wasn't even in the fucking closet because, like, I hadn't done anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was just, the whole situation was weird. Just it coming out that way, that I was gay and all this other shit, and I was young. I had a boyfriend. Oh, I had a boyfriend. Oh, y'all don't even know. Yo, like, I had a whole boyfriend that too at the time back then. So, oh, that's a touchy subject, y'all. That's crazy. I had a boyfriend back then, and he's really doing great to this day. I just stopped in the city and checked up on him about a month or so ago when I was there. But anyway, I'm gonna go past that part. So, just mind you, everybody finding out about you being gay and you're not even gay yet was like the worst shit in the world. And to this day, like, I have so many questions, like, why did you do that? Like, it just haven't been talked about yet to this day. And I'm not sure if we'll ever talk about it. I'm not sure if I ever get any, sorries or anything like that. So it's, like I said, it's just a touchy subject. Anywho, we're gonna go ahead and go past that. So that created a storm. When I say it created a fucking storm, it created like one of the biggest storms of my life. Like, I became this dyke. I was gay. I was like the worst person in the world to everybody, is what I felt like. You know what I'm saying? It was like traumatizing. Like, yo, I ain't even did shit. And everywhere I went, it was like, yeah, you a dyke, you a dyke. Me and my sister never got along. So she'd be like, yo, dyking ass bitch, you a dyke. So just being in the house, everything was an issue. We fought like cats and dogs. When I tell you, me and my sister fought like there was no fucking tomorrow. Like, we fought, like, for real. Like, I had to fight her on a regular. Like, we fought at school. Like, I chose to go to a different school for my sister because we fought on the bus and at school. Like, and they was kicking us out. Like, yo, your kids is fighting. You know what I'm saying? Each other, not other people. So the shit was like bad. Just my whole growing up, that part, boy, y'all just, it's a lot that I ain't even spoke on, but I'm trying to stay on track. But so much was going on throughout this period. So that went on, and I just started going over there all the time. My boyfriend was actually taking me over there. I'd be like, yo, can you take me over to Amanda's house? And he would come get me and take me out there, me and some of my friends or whatever. So my mom kept saying, you can't go over there. And I'm like, why? You know what I'm saying? And I would go over there anyway. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going anyway because this is where I want to go. You know what I'm saying? She would call me. Mando call me. D, why don't you come over? I'm about to come get you. Or her sister, which I love like crazy to this fucking day, is my ace. She'd come get me. You know what I'm saying? She was big. Her name was big in the city. So I was like, damn, I'm young. I'm like, hell yeah. I'm kicking it with them. Thought I was doing something. Never realized how old Manda was. Like I told you, I was 14 at the time. Never knew how old she really was. So it all transpired. One day I went over there. I had him take me. My boyfriend took me and dropped me off over there. Told my mom I was going to the movies or something like that, and I'd be back. Because she would always talk to him and say, he would ask, is it okay if I come get her? Or, whatever. He was 17, I think, at the time. Yeah, he was 17. I was 14. So he'd come get me. He had a little whip, beats in it and shit. And it was like, that, I didn't have a car. I couldn't drive. I was still young. I was driving, but I wasn't supposed to. So it was like, what I'm saying? That was cool. The cool thing to do. So he came and got me one day and took me over there. And I get over there, and this other young girl that I knew from one of my cousins named Nene. Y'all, this story, though. Like, this story is finna be so weird. Y'all finna be like, what the fuck? So, yeah, don't mind me. I be cussing, too. I can praise God in the morning and still cuss, throughout the day, because that's just what's on my heart. So I'm sorry. Anywho, my cousin Nene, her aunt, which is also my cousin, that I hadn't met until I started going, not Nene, but her aunt. I had met her later on. I never really knew her like that. She was a little bit older than me, so I didn't know who she was. She had just came out, and she was Amanda's girlfriend. Like, right before all this stuff had started happening, I had met her. She was coming out there, whatever. I've seen her a couple times. Really didn't know like who she was or nothing like that. So I guess they had broke up. So Amanda was going through some shit, and she just told my cousin Troy, she was like, yo, tell D that I said what's up. And like I said, mind you, I just was like, what? Like, what she mean? And I kind of was like, what the hell? So I had a couple other friends. Like I told you, I used to dance a lot. So I hope I'm not losing y'all. Okay, I'm trying to. I used to dance. And this particular night I went over there, he dropped me off. My friend of my cousin was over there. Her name was Brittany. We all kicking it. We stayed over there. I guess she liked her, but Amanda didn't like her. She liked me. And this shit was weird. So we stayed the night. We stayed over there. The interaction was kind of like, you know what I'm saying? What's going on here? I think this girl really liked me. This is weird. And like I said, I was young. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. This was like, you know. So after that, it just kept transpiring. Like the next day I went home and she called me. And she was like, you want to come by here or can I come get you? Her dad had this big long ass boat car and she would drive it sometimes. So she came and got me and just start chilling. After that, start chilling. My mom just started getting worse. Like, I told you can't go over there. I was like, shit, okay. I'll go over there anyway. You know, or her sister would come get me and I would leave and be gone. And it just got so bad at home to where it was like me and my mom was just beefing. Like, she would call my sister like, where Destin at? And she'd be like, oh, she gone. I'd be standing in front of the house. You know what I'm saying? Like right outside. Here come a police car. And I'm like, what the hell? They like, oh, your mom said you ain't supposed to be outside. And I'm like, be outside? Like, nigga, I'm in front of my house. Like, who you talking? Come on, we gotta take you. Take me where? Y'all, shit got ugly. When I tell y'all, from that fucking day, I was labeled a runaway. I'm like, runaway? I'm standing in front of my house. I just walked outside. Well, your mom said you ain't supposed to be outside. I'm like, are you serious? Literally, y'all, from that fucking day, I started getting locked up. They took me to this place called like YSC or some shit in my city. And it was like where all these little girls will be running away from home or having issues at home or, you know, stuff like that. From that day fucking forward, I was in the system until I was 18. Like a couple weeks before my 18th birthday. And I was about 14. So they locked me up. We went to court. I got out, came back home. I'm like, man, what the hell? Like, you know, what's going on? Next thing I know, my mom filing papers. We all downtown. She was trying to get a restraining order on Amanda. Because at this point, I found out Amanda was like 19 or something like that. So she was trying to get a restraining order on Amanda to keep her away from me. And I'm like, what are you doing that for? Like, we still hadn't even really done anything yet. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, I'm like, well, shit, fuck it. If you're doing all of this, I might as well holler at the girl. So, you know, it went from there. So from that point, it was like, you know, we was together. You know, wasn't nobody finna stop me from doing nothing. That's what I wanted to do. The whole city was saying I was gay. Like, I was just being harassed to the point where it was like the worst ever shit I was going through. So I was just like, you know, it is what it is. So, mind you, like I said, it was just like, shit, y'all already accusing me of doing it. Everybody fucking with me. And it was just like, I don't even care. It is what it is. So I tried it. I liked it. I loved it, actually. I'm keeping it real. It was just like, what the fuck? So the shit was just so weird because her family literally took me in. Like, it was crazy. Like, I started living over there. Like, I would just leave my house because my mom was tripping, yo. Like, when I say tripping, she was tripping. We stayed into it. We was into it, like, every day. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get along. It was always, you know what I'm saying, just the back and forth. We was bickering, fussing, fighting. I couldn't do nothing, regardless if she thought I was doing something with Amanda or her sister. I couldn't do nothing. I got locked up. Every time I got back out. And it got to the point where it was like, yo, I'm tired. I'm tired of this shit. I had turned 15 at the time and was just like, you know what? This shit was crazy. It was out of hand. Freshman year was time to go to school. I would go outside like I'm finna get on the bus. Me and Amanda would be on the phone like all night. I never go to sleep. I would get up, take a shower, put my clothes on, go outside like I'm finna get on the bus. And either she would be waiting around the corner. I wouldn't get on the bus. I would get in the car with her and leave. Like, I wasn't even going to school. Or I would get on the bus and she would already be out there at the school waiting for me to pick me up. I wouldn't even go into the school. I would just get in the car and leave type shit. That's the type of shit I started doing. Like, you know what? I'm tired of this shit. Just, it was horrible. Like, we was getting into fights at home. And this story I hadn't even got to yet. But mind you, I'm allergic to the chemicals inside of mace. Whatever they put in mace when they spray it, it causes me to have a reaction to go into convulsions where it looks like seizures. It looks like I'm having a fucking grandma seizure. That's like, I found this out so many years later after all the bullshit I went through in my city and all the falling outs and everything everybody witnessed me doing that was so embarrassing, to the fact that I finally found out I'm allergic to mace and never knew it. So my mom, like me and my sister get into a fight at the house or anything, my mom would mace us. She would spray us with mace because my mom, mind you, was like 75 fucking pounds. So she's always little as hell. I wasn't, you know, big, but I wasn't real little as a kid. You know what I'm saying? I was just mediocre, about 115, 120. So me and my sister would get into fucking fights. You know what I'm saying? It's going down. Real rumble in the motherfucking crib or whatever. So we would be getting into fights and my mom, she'd just come out and mace us because we fighting. Or like silly shit. So it would cause reactions to where I couldn't even breathe, you know, shit be happening, whatever. So it was just like so much going on. I was like, I'm not going back home. I ain't going there. Like, y'all got me fucked up. I don't want to live with her. She tripping. Kept getting me locked up. Kept getting me locked up. So I was 15 and I left. I just was like, you know what? I'm not staying here. That was the very first time I actually, I guess, quote unquote, ran away. Amanda came and got me and I stayed at her sister's house. We stayed at her sister's house. It was time for me to go to school. I ain't have no money. She ain't have no money. Like, it was like, yo, we both broke. We was hungry. Ain't have no bread. She went and got like a little temp job at some like cookie dough factory or some shit. Like, it was the weirdest shit ever. And just so she can go buy me some school clothes or whatever. She even did some other crazy shit. And just so she can have a couple dollars to go get me some clothes for school. Her sister went and bought me this fucking, it was a pink Johnny Blaze, like, bubble coat back in the day. And it was like the shit. You know what I'm saying? She had went and bought me some shit or whatever so I can go to school. And it was just like craziness. Like, ever since that day, my mom finally got mad because I would not come back home. And me and Amanda's fucking mom was so fucking cool. Like, to this day, out of that whole situation with me, her, my mom, everybody, I regret so much about her mom. I ain't even got to that part yet. It's still long. I'm gonna get to that part. But we were so fucking cool. She had built this like screen deck thing around their house, or had Indy them or somebody built it for her. And she would I'd be sitting out there and Amanda would go to work. And she always be like, go down there with my mom or get out of the room. Because I would just stay up in the room all day and never come out of the room. So I started coming out. And it's kind of weird. I want to tell this story, but people going to be like, man, what the fuck was going on? But this is a real fucking story. And I'm not trying to bash nobody or nothing like that. But it was just weird because I'm so fucking cool. Like, I'm still cool with her brother's exes, which is his kids' moms. This shit is weird, y'all. So, mind you, okay, I'm 14, 15. I'm staying out there at this point because I didn't want to go back home. So, I was like, fuck this shit. I'm staying over here. They were all so fucking cool. They damn near, like, took me in and was just, like, the best people I ever met in my life. Like, I'm like, damn, this is what family do? Like, it was just weird. Like, I never really had close family. Yes. Hold on, y'all. Can you get some pizza rolls? Okay, give me a few minutes, okay? Okay, thank you. So, my baby is too smart, y'all. So, like, we was real cool. They was all cool. She had an older sister, a couple older sisters that was, like, literally the shit. I looked up to all of them, like, damn, like, they were all so fucking close. And it was like, damn, like, their family was cool. They didn't fight much. You know what I'm saying? I didn't come from that. I came from straight bullshit. We was always scrapping. You know what I'm saying? My mom was never there. I don't know what a fucking daddy is. I don't know. I never had a dad. So it's like, dang, her mom, her dad lived there. Her brother lived there. But this is the thing. Like, her brother was fucking dope, yo. Like, being young and seeing this shit was like, what the fuck going on? So her brother had, like, these 2 baby mamas that they were all like girlfriend, boyfriend, or something. I don't know. So like I said, I was young, so I never really knew what was going on. I know years later they all lived together in a house before he, you know, they all broke up or whatever. But they was fucking cool as shit. You know what I'm saying? So yo, like, both of them. It was the 2 baby mamas. They was always there, lived there, something. I don't fucking know. The shit is so, it's old, but I don't want to, you know, try to throw anybody under the bus or say nothing wrong because I still fuck with them to this fucking day. Like, they cool as shit. Like, still. They all kind of stood up for me at one point. She had this older sister named Nettie, and she was like fucking hilarious, yo. Like, they all thought they was some type of comedians or some shit. They always tried to be funny, but it was the corniest jokes fucking ever. So, okay, like, my mom came out there one time and was looking for me. And it was like, she not here. And I can just hear Amanda's mom, like, out there yelling, her and my mom arguing. She like, they like, she not here. She like, well, I'm going to bring the police. Y'all going to have my daughter come out of that house. Da, 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 da. They like, she not here. You can leave. They all stood up for me. They knew what was going on. Which, I don't know if it was wrong or right to this day. I'm not going to say, but I wasn't trying to fucking go back home. I got tired of being locked up. I got tired of fighting. I got tired of being sprayed with mace. It was just like, what the fuck? Like, all this because I wanted to be fucking gay? Like, you couldn't just sit down and talk to me about this shit? Or like, so I'm going through this shit? So I didn't want to go back home. So I was like, fuck it. She left it alone. She ended up leaving after about an hour. I think the police came by, everything. She ended up leaving. Amanda mom, everybody came in and was like, man, y'all, you don't have to go nowhere. Amanda mom talked to me for about an hour. Like, you don't ever have to leave. But we got to figure out what's going on with your mom. You can't be doing this, and the other. So, you know, time went on. I ended up leaving, going back home, and got locked back up. Pretty much. My mom went downtown, tried to get a restraining order again. They threw that shit out and was like, they not giving her no restraining order. Shit was crazy. Time went on to where I got locked up for a few months and was like, at this point, they kept saying they not gonna let me out until I did this, until I did that. And I'm like, well, I don't want to go back. So at one point, they let me out. Shit was so crazy. The fighting, the fussing, the streets, everybody talking about me. I couldn't go nowhere. It was just like the worst feeling ever. So I'm going to be all the way transparent. I'm going to keep it real. I tried to kill myself. And I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I was just so, it was crazy. Like, the feeling, everything, my emotions, everything. I was confused. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And it was just like, skip all of this. I'm not finna, I don't want to live like this. I don't want to go through this. So, it didn't work. I think I had took some shit. Brittany was still my homegirl back then. We went over Amanda's, and I had already took it like earlier, probably like 5 or 6 hours before I went over there. Fucking passed the fuck out by the time I got over there. I think I was throwing up or something. I don't remember what happened because I kind of lost it. I went into like this whole blackout mode. I was in a coma for like a week. Amanda and her dad and Brittany took me to the hospital. I think they called like my cousin Tanil or something because I think I was waking up. I was real heavy into my cousin Tanil back then. Like, I looked up to her like crazy. That motherfucker was just like the shit to me because I was still young and they was throwing parties, getting all this money and shit. And I'm like, damn, this is my cousin. And it was a whole like naughty era. And I was just like so into them or whatever. So I think I was like fading in and out, and they said I kept asking for her. So somebody called her. I don't know what happened. I can remember hearing her, my mom, and my grandma Josie at the hospital. Like I said, I was in a coma for like a week, and I didn't really know. I'm always gonna remember. I heard my grandma, my mom, just in there talking, and my grandma was telling my mom how she was wrong about this whole situation. Yeah, this shit is touchy, and I'm probably about to cry because I miss my grandma. But anywho, I'm gonna try to fast forward past that because I'm gonna be on here crying. I ain't get on here to cry. But anywho, I can remember her telling her something about her being wrong, and a week or so go by, and my brother come up there. Like, we was real close. His name Leron, and he knew everything. Like, I couldn't write in my books no more. Mind you, I forgot to tell you. Okay, so I stole my books back from my mom because it was like she would always lock her room when she left. She had this little boyfriend or whatever, and it was always back there. It was like the other side of the house they was in. And she would lock her room when she left. And what I had to do one day was climb in her window, and I got into her room and stole my books back from her, my journals, because I'm like, damn, this motherfucker got everybody in the city reading my you know, my inner thoughts. And I was kind of pissed off. So I got my books back and I gave them to my brother, and he kept them for me. Like, literally kept them for me for years or whatever. I think his mom or somebody. But anywho, he came up to the hospital and he tried to talk to me, and it was just like, man, I don't know what's going on. And we had a little heart to heart, and then my mom's like, just kept telling him, I don't want my mom up here. So my mom ended up leaving. I stayed in the hospital probably another week or so after that. Get out of the hospital, they released me back to my mom. I think I was still 15. I think I was still 15 at the time. Go back home to the bullshit. Now everybody know what I try to do. People was talking about me once again, and it was just like, fuck this shit. I don't want to stay here. So I was outside. She pulled one of those moves again. I went next door. Mind you, we stayed like 6 feet from the Burger Dairy. I got up, went outside, and went next door to get some candy. Went next door to the Burger Dairy. I'm coming outside of the Burger Dairy, and the police sitting in front of my house. And I'm like, man, what the fuck? What's going on? I get over there to the house. They like, yeah, you're not supposed to leave the house. And I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, y'all still on this? So, boom, lock me back up. Go back out to this damn place called YSC, where they knew who I was by my name. DSN, you back? Hey, DSN, woo-de-woo. I'm just like, this is some bullshit. I ain't never going back home. Like, to that day, I refused to go back home. Like, I told them, I went to court, the judge, the probation, everybody. I said, I'm not going back home. So I ain't gonna go into detail of some shit that happened there, but it was just like, you know, I expressed to the judge why I didn't want to go back home. And I was so mad at my mom back then. I'm like, man, all she do is sit at home and smoke weed, woo-de-woo-de-woo. And they like, what? So they was like, is that true? So they gave her a drug test, and they was like, well, since you dirty, if you want to get your child back, you got to stop doing drugs or smoking weed or whatever y'all want to call it. I call it dope. You know, I don't smoke, so whatever. So from that point on, it was like, okay. So they kept me out at YSC, and they would do these random every 30-day drug tests on my mom. She never stopped smoking. So they was like, well, you're going to lose your rights. She don't want to come back to you anyway. If you don't want to stop smoking, that lets us know that you don't want her back. So that's how that went. That's how I got out of not having to go back home. Throughout this time, Amanda kept reaching out. Amanda kept trying to get a hold of me. My mom had it blocked from so many angles. Everywhere I was, they was like, you cannot talk to this person. She is not able to contact you. You can't talk to her. I was at YSC. Everywhere I went. Huh? Yeah. Everywhere I went, they would not let me talk to her. So it was just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she was just blocked from every angle. So me and her wasn't even allowed to talk at this point. So she was finding ways to have people send me letters and like, D, I'm waiting for you. Whenever you get done with all of this, I'm going to be out here. Woo. So mind you, I think I turned 16 while I'm locked up or something. I don't know. Because at this point, I never, ever went back home. They couldn't find anywhere to send me. I didn't have a dad. I really didn't have too much close family like that at the time or whatever. I don't know what was going on. So they ended up sending me to this place in Plymouth, Indiana. And it was a fucking, y'all, it was like a psych ward type mental hospital. Y'all. I was in a mental hospital where it was fucking like, bitches was in straitjackets. Like, they was putting the white coats on these people and injecting them with like Ativan to get them to calm down. And I was just in there like, what the fuck? Like, it was the worst, y'all. I was scared. I was always like, man, what's going on? I had this homegirl, my motherfucking nigga. Her name was Shira. I think her name's Chad or something now, but her name was Shira back then. And it was my ace, my nigga, like, yo. And she was kicking it with Amanda, and they was, you know, so she was finagling her way on how to come get me or come see me. Because after I was there for like 3-4 months, they started letting me go on passes because they was trying to get me to go home. And because it was my fault, I didn't get to go home so fast because I would be in there and they'd be talking to me. They want to know everything. They want to know about Amanda.
Bitch, I got a check. Checking in the bag. Bitch, I got a check. Yeah, all you niggas mad.